Welcome to today's episode. We're talking about the concept of no limits to learning and how it can bridge the human gap we're facing.
The human gap? That sounds intriguing. What's that about?
Well, it's the idea that there's a widening gap between the complexity of global problems and our capacity to deal with them.
Right.
We're not learning fast enough to keep up.
So you're saying that our traditional ways of learning aren't cutting it anymore?
Exactly. You see, we rely too much on what's called maintenance learning, sticking to old methods and waiting for crises to force us to change.
Like learning by shock?
Yes, precisely. But that's risky now because some shocks could be catastrophic.
Yeah.
We need to shift to innovative learning that emphasizes anticipation and participation. It's like we can't just wait for a fire to start before we build a fire station.
Anticipation and participation? Can you explain that a bit more?
Sure. Anticipation means, preparing for future challenges before they hit us.
Okay.
It's like we need to, fix the roof before it starts raining. Participation involves engaging everyone in the learning process, not just elites or experts.
So it's about getting people involved and thinking ahead?
Exactly. It's a shift from just reacting to events to actively shaping our future.
Right.
It's about empowering people to learn and act proactively.
But aren't there obstacles to this kind of learning? I mean, systems in place might resist change.
Yes, that's a big issue. Structural impediments like rigid educational systems, misuse of power, and even the way media is used can block innovative learning.
Interesting. So, for example, how does the misuse of power come into play?
Well, take the arms race. A huge amount of resources is tied up in military spending.
Yeah.
Half of the world's scientists are working on military projects instead of on solving global issues.
That's a staggering statistic.
It is, and it reflects how power can divert learning and resources away from where they're most needed.
Right.
It's like, having a car, but no fuel to run it.
So how do we overcome these obstacles?
By promoting participation and changing the structures that block learning. For instance, improving education to make it more relevant and accessible.
Okay.
Also, addressing issues like illiteracy and ensuring equal opportunities for women.
Speaking of women, the report mentions the waste of human potential. Is that connected?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When we limit the education and participation of women, we're wasting half of humanity's potential. That hinders our ability to address global challenges.
That makes a lot of sense. So, it's about unlocking everyone's capacity to contribute.
Exactly. Innovative learning is about tapping into the collective intelligence. It's essential for bridging the human gap and tackling complex issues.
But with so many obstacles, is it realistic to think we can make this shift?
Well, it's challenging, but there are promising signs. Non-governmental organizations, for example, are experimenting with new approaches to learning.
Right.
They're often more flexible and innovative.
So there's hope if we can build on these initiatives?
Definitely. By encouraging anticipation and participation at all levels, we can foster the innovative learning needed for the future.
Yeah.
It's about transforming how we think and learn.
Well, this has been eye-opening. I think we all have a role to play in this shift.
Absolutely. The key is recognizing that there are no limits to learning and that bridging the human gap is possible if we work together.
I couldn't agree more. Thanks for shedding light on this important topic.
My pleasure. Let's hope we can all embrace innovative learning and make a difference.